The furnace did not burn with fire, it breathed darkness, as though something within it was trying to awaken or escape. If you enjoy my way of explaining and storytelling, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really motivates me to keep creating. Waves of black fog coiled around the crown of the furnace, writhing as though desperate to break free. Yet an unseen force held them captive, binding them in place no matter how fiercely they struggled. 9 skulls encircled the massive furnace. They were not the remains of beasts, but human skulls. Upon each forehead between the brows was etched an intricate and unfathomably complex tattoo. From these skulls pulsed bursts of black light, flickering in eerie rhythm, as though they formed a mysterious formation of their own. Tashan gazed at the furnace, his expression layered with emotion, and murmured softly, "This is the mysterious Yin furnace." Wang Lin's eyes burned like twin torches. His divine sense spread outward, circling the furnace. After a brief hesitation, it surged forward and entered without resistance. But the instant his divine sense crossed the threshold, a piercing, shrill scream erupted from within a woman's cry, sharp and unnatural. It could not be heard by the ears, only perceived through divine sense. Laden with overwhelming killing intent, it surged outward like a storm, nearly tearing Wang Lin's consciousness apart. His body flickered as he retreated several steps. His face paled slightly, yet his eyes shone all the brighter. Fixing his gaze upon the furnace, Wang Lin said slowly, "I'll remain here for a few days. You should leave first." Tashan fell silent, deep in thought. After a moment, he lifted his head to look at Wang Lin. Hesitation lingered in his eyes before he finally asked, "Are you truly a celestial?" Wang Lin withdrew his gaze and turned to him. When Tashan had insisted on leading him alone, Wang Lin had already sensed there was something he wished to ask. He said nothing, only looked at Tashan calmly. A bitter smile spread across Tashan's face as he spoke in a low voice. "When I was a child, the elders often told us that we had been chosen by the Celestials, that our lives were meant to serve them, that it was the greatest honor of our clan. That belief was the foundation of my heart as I grew up. Not just mine, but nearly everyone in the clan believed the same. But as I grew older, I began to realize it wasn't true. No one had ever seen a celestial except for that piece of celestial jade in the temple." He paused, his voice growing heavier. "From time to time, the mysterious Yin furnace, our clan guards, would spew out fog, and from that fog, things would emerge, things that slaughtered my people. I watched my clansmen die one after another, and grief turned into anger, and then into doubt. I began to question whether celestials even existed at all. Even now, Tashan still don't believe they exist. If they truly did, why have they abandoned us for so many years?" Wang Lin fell into silent contemplation. When the old man had called them the chosen, immortal clan, a thought had already formed in his mind. The chosen immortal clan, the forsaken immortal clan, one chosen, one abandoned. Tashan suddenly raised his head, his voice low yet carrying the force of a thunderous roar. "Tell me, do celestials exist in this world? Are you one of them?" Wang Lin replied calmly, each word measured. "I am not a celestial." Tashan's body trembled. The bitterness in his expression deepened. "There may still be celestials somewhere," Wang Lin continued, his gaze drifting back to the furnace. "But the celestial realm collapsed long ago." Tashan let out a hollow, pained laugh as he staggered back a few steps. "So I was right. Celestials. There are no celestials. My clan has guarded this place for nothing all this time." Wang Lin stared at the furnace and asked quietly, "What lies inside it?" "I don't know," Tashan muttered. "The clan records say that countless years ago, Celestial King Carefree brought our people into the body of the nether beast, ordering us to guard this furnace until his return." Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. "Then how does one leave this place?" Tashan took a deep breath, a wry smile forming. There is no way out. This place is completely sealed. I've tried to escape to search for the Celestials, but I failed. The sky has a limit, yet I cannot cross it. Beyond the cracks in the flesh wall lies only endless void. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. And that celestial jade, what did it say? No one knows. No one has ever been able to see what lies within. Among all the countless clan members who have died, not a single one succeeded. Tarshan gradually steadied himself. Wang Lin frowned. After a moment of thought, he stepped forward and pressed his hand against the furnace. His divine sense entered once more. Almost instantly, that same piercing shriek erupted again, this time far more intense. It tore through his divine sense and echoed violently within his mind. Wang Lin focused, channeling origin energy to shield his origin, soul resisting the relentless assault. The sound grew sharper, more ferocious, until it reached a terrifying peak. His face turned pale as he withdrew his hand and staggered back, each step shaking the ground and leaving deep footprints behind. Only after 7 steps did he regain his composure. With a cold snort, he surged forward once more, arriving at the mouth of the furnace. Peering inside, he saw nothing but boundless darkness. The black fog swirling around it radiated a chilling aura. His eyes flashed. Raising his hand, thunder surged from within his body, gathering into a sphere of crackling lightning. He hurled it into the furnace. The thunderball struck the opening with a deafening rumble, but in the next instant, the black fog surged forward and devoured it. Whole. Explode. Wang Lin barked. A muffled detonation followed as the thunderball collapsed, forcing the fog outward. Wang Lin's gaze sharpened, piercing through the shifting darkness. At the bottom, there was a small transfer array. The fog surged again, swallowing the array from view. Then it condensed rapidly, forming the shape of a woman. Her body was made entirely of black mist, her features indistinguishable. The moment she took form, she lunged outward, riding the fog beneath her, releasing a piercing scream. This time, the sound did not only attack the soul, it tore at the flesh as well. The scream was so powerful, it nearly solidified. As it shot toward Wang Lin, Tarshan, standing nearby, was caught in its wake. His face drained of color, his eyes dimmed, and he staggered back instinctively. Without a mutated Thunder Soul, his origin soul was wounded. Wang Lin retreated without hesitation, yet he too was struck. Blood spilled from his mouth as his face turned. Pale, grabbing Tarshan, he shot toward the exit. Behind them, the woman's shadow gave chase, swift as lightning. In an instant she caught up, unleashing another scream. A cold glint flashed in Wang Lin's eyes. He spat out a mouthful of essence blood, which transformed into a crimson mist, rushing toward her. "Seal," he shouted. The blood mist formed countless restrictions that latched onto her body, binding her in place. At the same time, Wang Lin's gaze turned icy. He pointed into the void. The Karma whip appeared, lashing down mercilessly. The woman let out a pained wail, retreating briefly before surging forward again. Her body split into 9 streams of black gas, shooting toward Wang Lin like arrows. Wang Lin frowned, continuing to retreat. Reaching the doorway, he threw Tarshan backward. His finger pressed between his brows. The third eye opened, radiating crimson light that flooded the entrance. Under this red glow, the 9 streams began to dissipate, yet in the next instant they merged again, ignoring the light entirely as they surged toward the exit. The old man guarding the door had already seen the approaching darkness. His expression changed drastically. Without waiting for instruction, he formed seals with his hands. The plant-like tattoo between his brows flared brightly before imprinting itself onto the door. With a thunderous rumble, the massive door began to close. A shrill scream erupted from behind it. The old man trembled, coughing up blood. His body instantly weakened. Just as the door was about to shut completely, the woman nearly burst through. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed. He slapped his bag of holding, drawing out the celestial brush. In a single motion, he painted 6 strokes. They shot forward like sword rays, forming a barrier before her. A loud crash echoed. The woman's advance faltered, and in that fleeting moment, the door slammed shut, sealing away her scream. Tashan stood frozen, his scalp tingling with shock as he stared at the door. What was that? The spirit of the mysterious yin furnace. The old man replied, wiping blood from his lips, his expression heavy with complexity. Wang Lin's face darkened as he sat down. You two leave. Do not allow anyone to come within 1,000 feet of this place. The old man hesitated briefly, then nodded respectfully. He and Tashan turned into streaks of light and vanished into the distance. Wang Lin remained seated, staring at the door. When the old man had sealed it, Wang Lin had clearly seen him use the tattoo. Between his brows, a life-bound tattoo. Lost in thought, Wang Lin opened his bag of holding. Back on planet Suzaku, he had obtained many skulls from the Forsaken, immortal clan. With a flash of light, several skulls appeared before him. Each bore the same intricate tattoo. After examining them carefully, he stored them away again. Then his gaze lifted toward the sky. It was blue and serene, but beyond the drifting, white clouds, he could faintly discern the flesh-like barrier, enclosing the world. If this place is truly sealed, then how did I arrive here? This is no safe haven. I must find a way out as soon as possible. Yet at the same time, there is no better place to hide. As his thoughts churned, he slapped his bag once more. An enormous object emerged. It spanned over 150 feet in length and 40 feet in width. The moment it appeared, it exuded a terrifying aura. Countless sharp thorns covered its surface, radiating a savage, ferocious presence that inspired instinctive fear in any who beheld it. The third God-slaying war chariot. This was the last God-slaying war chariot Wang Lin possessed, and also the most powerful. Its sole purpose was to forge a weapon capable of slaying a god. A suffocating pressure radiated from the chariot. Before him, the countless thorns protruding from its surface carried an ancient, time-worn aura. Its savage, menacing form alone was enough to strike fear deep into the hearts of any who beheld it. In the past, Wang Lin had nearly collapsed under this very pressure. He had not dared to use it, relying instead on an inherited spell to seal it away. But now he stood calmly beside it. In the span of these hundreds of years, Wang Lin had grown immensely. He closed his eyes. A moment later they opened again, gleaming with a sharp, resolute light. His hands moved, forming intricate seals, while his lips murmured ancient, cryptic incantations. His left hand grasped his right wrist. A flash of black light gathered in his right palm, condensing into a dense, ominous glow before he pressed it firmly onto the God-slaying war chariot. The moment the black light touched the chariot, it was absorbed. Then, a far more terrifying pressure erupted. Every thorn on the chariot began to emit black light. The countless strands fused together, forming a vast, overwhelming radiance that seemed capable of engulfing the entire world. Before Wang Lin's eyes, the light condensed, coalescing into 7 flickering runes. Gazing at them, Wang Lin recalled the words left behind by the chariot's creator. The third God-slaying war chariot surpasses all my expectations. If its wielder can unleash its full power, it can easily slay a celestial god. However, it remains incomplete. 3 materials are still required: the mysterious mystery wing, the underworld culture wood, and the celestial butterfly soul. I regret that I could not obtain these items in my lifetime. If my successor can find them, then my regret shall be undone. To make this third chariot acknowledge its master, one must fuse with the 7 runes and refine it into a life-linked treasure. Only then can its true power be unleashed. Otherwise, even with the runes, its strength will remain incomplete. Successor, choose carefully. Choose with caution again and again. Wang Lin's expression remained calm, When he had first read these words, he had not taken them to heart. But there was one kind of treasure that demanded absolute caution when refining a life-linked treasure. If the divine sense imprinted on an ordinary treasure were erased, the worst outcome would be injury, not death. Even treasures nurtured within one's origin soul were the same. Their destruction would cause grievous harm, but not fatality. The fragment and flying swords Wang Lin possessed were all like this. But a life-linked treasure was different. If such a treasure were destroyed, the lighter consequence would be severe injury and a fractured origin soul. In the worst case, it meant death. And yet, despite the risks, countless cultivators still chose to refine life-linked treasures, because once bound to one's life, a treasure's power would increase several-fold and continue to grow alongside the cultivator's own cultivation. Wang Lin had seen such records before. In ancient times, there had been a cultivator who chose an ordinary flying sword as his life-linked treasure. As his cultivation advanced, so too did the sword's power until it reached an unimaginable level. This third God-slaying war chariot is unlike the previous two, Wang Lin murmured inwardly. His gaze lingered on the 7 runes. With a flick of his wrist, he opened his bag of holding. The mosquito beast flew out with a roar, stirring violent winds as it circled excitedly. In the air, it had clearly been confined for far too long. Next came the thunder toad. It dropped heavily onto the ground, its expression languid and indifferent as it sprawled there unwilling to move. Finally, Wang Lin summoned the celestial sword. With a flick, Shuigu was ejected. Shuigu was about to begin his usual flattery, but one glance from Wang Lin silenced him instantly. "I am about to refine a treasure," Wang Lin said calmly. "Do not allow anyone within 1,000 feet." Shuigu immediately straightened, thumping his chest with exaggerated loyalty. "Master, rest assured, unless someone steps over my dead body, no one will come near. I Shuigu have lived my life for loyalty. Loyalty above all. No one can compare to me." Under Wang Lin's cold gaze, his voice quickly faded. He retreated several steps, sneaking a few glances at Wang Lin before lowering his head. "It seems I've grown rusty," he thought bitterly. "My flattery isn't flowing like it used to. Otherwise, this fiend wouldn't have frowned after just a few lines. I need to practice more. This skill is my greatest weapon. Even if I escape someday, it might still save my life." Having resolved himself, Shuigu began pacing around, muttering under his breath, his words barely audible. "Master's spells are truly profound, just like a real celestial. Little Shuzi admires you deeply. Ah, such divine power, Master, is truly a pioneer among cultivators. Eh, what is this? This must be the might of masters. Treasure. Master, you are the greatest cultivator little Shuzi has ever known. Following you was the best decision of my life." As he muttered, his eyes lit up, his tone growing increasingly fluent and dramatic. The mosquito beast passed by, catching fragments of his ramblings. Though it understood little, curiosity stirred within it. It deliberately circled back, eager to hear more. Once everything was arranged, the mosquito beast, the thunder toad, and Shuigu Wang Lin laid down several restrictions. Only then did he relax slightly. His gaze returned to the war chariot. He raised his hand and pressed it between his brows. His origin soul emerged, transforming into an ancient thunder dragon. It surged toward the God-slaying war chariot. Upon approaching, it circled once, then suddenly opened its maw and devoured one of the runes. Instantly, a violent force erupted within him. The rune rampaged wildly inside his origin soul, unleashing destructive energy. A powerful force within Wang Lin pressed down upon it, but the rune resisted fiercely, refusing to collapse. Instead, it erupted with even greater strength. If this had been the Wang Lin of the Ascendant stage, his origin soul would not have endured. He would have been forced into a prolonged stalemate. But now, Wang Lin let out a cold snort. Thunder roared within his origin soul. Each explosion multiplied its power, doubling again and again until it surged with overwhelming force. In an instant, the thunder became terrifyingly vast and collided directly with the rune. A thunderous crash echoed. The rune shattered, and before its fragments could scatter, even more thunder surged forward, devouring them entirely. Rumbles echoed endlessly within his soul. Soon, the rune was completely refined, merging into his origin soul. It had taken less than half an incense stick's time. Without pause, Wang Lin advanced toward the second rune and devoured it. This one was stronger. Even so, it was refined completely, though it required the time of a full incense stick. His eyes gleamed. This time, he swallowed the third and fourth runes together. An hour passed before their mysterious power was fully absorbed. Then came the fifth rune. The moment it entered, it exploded with ferocious force, spreading throughout his origin soul. Wang Lin's gaze turned icy. His body coiled, thunder surging wildly within him as countless bolts converged upon the rune. Again and again thunder struck it. Only after 2 hours did its power finally yield, merging with his origin soul. At this point, his origin soul had dimmed noticeably. He returned it to his body and began to recover. Time flowed on. In the blink of an eye, 5 days passed. Wang Lin remained unmoving, his origin soul slowly regaining its strength. During this time, Tarshan and the clan ancestor arrived twice, accompanied by many clan members. Yet none dared approach within 1,000 feet. The mosquito beast's shrill cries, the thunder toad's rumbling aura, and Zhu Liguo's sinister presence kept them at bay. Shuigu, meanwhile, eyed the chosen immortal clan with gleaming eyes, licking his lips as memories of his glorious past on planet Qingling resurfaced. Temptation gnawed at him. He even tried to lure a few stragglers closer, but none paid him any heed. All of them were instead captivated by the God-slaying war chariot. They whispered among themselves, filled with awe and unease. Not even the ancestor who knew the most recognized it. Yet the pressure it emitted made their hearts tremble. On the 5th day, Wang Lin opened his eyes. Without hesitation, he raised his hand and pressed it between his brows once more. His origin soul emerged again, flying toward the God-slaying war chariot. But just as it approached within 100 feet, a sudden cry rang out from beyond the 1,000-foot boundary. An ancient dragon origin soul, such a thing, in the eyes of these people, was nothing short of astonishing. When the ancestor beheld Wang Lin's origin soul, a complex light flickered in his eyes. He let out a soft sigh, stepped forward, and clasped his hands respectfully. Upper Celestial, this lowly one wishes to ask. Wang Lin did not spare him a glance. He had already arrived beside the war chariot. After a brief moment of contemplation, his origin soul opened its maw and devoured the 6th rune without hesitation, then, in the same breath, swallowed the 7th as well. The sight caused everyone present to draw in a sharp breath, their eyes narrowing as they stared intently. At that moment, Shuiguo's eyes darted about. Suddenly he shot into the air, pointing dramatically at the members of the chosen immortal clan. "My master is refining a treasure," he bellowed. "Unless you step over my dead body, not a single one of you may take even half a step forward." His voice thundered with conviction, coupled with the expression on his face, one of absolute resolve. As though he would sooner die than allow any disturbance, he exuded an imposing aura that surged outward like a storm. The ancestor hastily retreated several steps and bowed. "We will not cross the 1,000-foot boundary. We merely have a few questions." Silence. Shuigu roared, cutting him off without hesitation. "Unless you step over my corpse, you will not disturb my master, not even for a moment. My entire life was given to me by him. He pulled me from the abyss, taught me his spells, granted me my inheritance, and bestowed upon me the power I now wield. If you dare interrupt him, Shuigu will never allow it." His voice trembled with fervor, his eyes blazing with unwavering resolve. In that instant, he seemed ready to stand against any foe, no matter how powerful, even if it meant death, without a flicker of hesitation. He was the very image of a loyal retainer, a hero. The ancestor's body trembled. To his ears, Shuliguo's words carried a deeper meaning. After all, his entire clan had once lived as servants to the Celestials. This person understands loyalty, and so does my clan, the old man thought, gazing at Shuliguo with newfound respect. I never expected this spirit to possess such devotion. Upper Celestial is truly fortunate to have such a loyal subordinate. Tarshan stood beside him, his gaze fixed on Shuliguo, his emotions tangled and difficult to untangle. It is not that my clan lacks loyalty, but those we devoted ourselves to have long since abandoned us. Unlike this spirit, he still has someone worthy of his loyalty. While Shuliguo's performance reached its peak, Wang Lin paid him no mind. Within his origin soul, thunder roared endlessly as it battered the final 2 runes, entering the last stage of refinement. The sound of thunder echoed continuously deep, relentless. One of the runes began to fracture, not all at once, but gradually inch by inch, as though worn down by an unstoppable force. At the same time, the Godslaying war chariot beneath Wang Lin's origin soul began to glow with black, light growing brighter, denser, until it seemed capable of swallowing all light around it. Under that eerie radiance, anyone who looked upon Wang Lin felt their minds tremble uncontrollably. The members of the chosen immortal clan were shaken to their core, unable to steady their hearts. Shuliguo, meanwhile, continued his righteous display. Yet when no one was watching, he stole a glance at Wang Lin and scoffed. Inwardly, what's so impressive about that? Your grandpa Shu can do the same. Devouring runes. I've devoured people before. Despite his inner disdain, his outward expression remained one of awe and reverence. His body even trembled slightly, as though overwhelmed by admiration. From the outside, he appeared every inch the loyal servant, stirred to excitement by his master's divine might. Tarshan watched him and let out a quiet sigh, his heart growing ever more conflicted. The ancestor, however, nodded to himself, increasingly convinced of Shuliguo's unwavering loyalty. In truth, these members of the chosen immortal clan had lived in isolation for far too long. Though not foolish, they were no match for Shuliguo's cunning. Nearly 1,000 years of survival had honed him into something slippery, adaptable, and sharp. If he could be easily seen through, he would not be Shuliguo. Time passed slowly. Several hours later, Wang Lin's origin soul suddenly stirred. The thunder within it surged violently, reaching a deafening peak. Then, without warning, it fell into complete silence. His eyes shone brilliantly. The final 2 runes were fully absorbed. Now a crucial decision stood before him. Should I refine it into a life-linked treasure? As Wang Lin pondered, the 7 runes merged, forming a single, unique rune that hovered near his chest. The moment it appeared, the black light from the war chariot surged forward and imprinted itself onto him. Godslaying war chariot seal release. His divine sense spread like thunder. All the black light flowed into his body. The countless thorns upon the chariot flickered violently, and an enormous illusory figure rapidly took shape. A soul beast, nearly 1,000 feet tall. The instant it appeared, it let out a deafening roar. The members of the chosen immortal clan turned pale. The plant-like marks on their foreheads flickered wildly as they staggered backward. Even the strongest among them could only hold their ground for a moment before being forced to retreat. The mosquito beast bristled, every hair standing on end as it shrieked fiercely. The thunder toad swelled, its body trembling as it prepared its most powerful technique. Only Shuliguo remained struggling to shout, "Unless you step over my dead." Before he could finish, the soul beast turned its massive head and fixed its gaze upon him. Shuliguo froze, The rest of his words vanished down his throat. "Just you wait," he cursed inwardly. "Once I finish absorbing the inheritance of the ancient sword spirit, we'll see who fears whom." Even so, he wasted no time retreating, disappearing into the distance in the blink of an eye. Wang Lin remained calm. His origin soul returned to his body, and he rose into the air. The soul beast roared once more, then lunged toward him so fast it seemed to transcend space itself. In an instant it was upon him, opening its maw to devour him whole. Wang Lin did not retreat. His voice was soft yet absolute. Collapse. A thunderous explosion rang out. The soul beast shattered into countless fragments, but in the next instant it reformed, its eyes burning with hatred as it charged again. Collapse. Again it disintegrated. The words from the celestial jade echoed in Wang Lin's mind. If refined as a life-linked treasure, the soul beast will naturally obey. But if not, the 7 runes grant 7 chances to force submission through collapse. If after 7 collapses it still refuses, then it must be refined as a life-linked treasure or it will remain unusable. After 2 collapses, the beast grew more ferocious. With a furious roar, it reformed, this time splitting into countless fragments attacking from all directions. Wang Lin frowned slightly. He was not a patient man. After 1,000 years of cultivation, his methods had become decisive, ruthless. The beast had not yet submitted, because it had not suffered enough. His gaze turned cold. Collapse. 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 3 commands, cold and absolute. The soul beast shattered instantly again, and again and again. A miserable howl echoed through the void. The successive collapses drove it into unbearable agony. Had they been spaced apart, it might have endured. But this relentless sequence, it broke something within it. Fear. The moment fear took root, the beast hesitated as it reformed. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. Collapse. Another explosion. The fragile fear within it surged, spreading wildly until it consumed the beast entirely. When it reformed once more, the ferocity in its eyes was gone. In its place, submission. It lowered its head. Wang Lin stepped forward, arriving atop its head. Biting his finger, he pressed a special imprint upon it. The soul beast trembled. Its massive body rapidly shrank. Wang Lin stepped down, watching silently as it compressed, smaller and smaller until it became a fist-sized mass of fog. Then it solidified, forming a cocoon. Cracks spread across its surface. With a soft shattering sound, it broke apart. And from within, a 5-colored butterfly emerged. Its wings shimmered as it gently flapped, scattering radiant dust into the air. It was breathtakingly beautiful. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. At that very moment, deep within the mysterious yin furnace, the transfer array flickered. A figure stepped out. His body blurred, then surged forward at incredible speed, heading straight for the gate. In an instant, he appeared near the exit and burst through. A man in blue robes. His gaze was cold. What is a lowly servant of this realm doing here?